What if I told you that one of Hollywood's biggest stars has been hiding something in his garage? Something that's been making grown men cry tears of joy. And nobody knew about it for years. 3 years ago, a man walked into a small motorcycle shop in Los Angeles. He wore a black jacket, jeans, and a baseball cap pulled down low. Nobody recognized him at first. But this wasn't just any guy. This was Keanu Reeves. The shop owner, an old man named Rick, looked up. "Can I help you?" "I need to rent some space," Keanu said quietly. "A private garage. Somewhere nobody will bother me." Rick's eyes went wide when he recognized him. "What are you planning to do?" Keanu looked him straight in the eyes. "Something important. Something for people who deserve it more than anyone." For weeks, Keanu showed up at that garage almost every day. He'd arrive before sunrise and work late into the night. He was building a motorcycle from scratch, but this wasn't a normal bike. It had special modifications, different controls, extra support, special handles. This bike was designed for someone who lost a leg in combat. "This bike isn't for you, is it?" Rick asked one evening. "No," Keanu said softly. "It's for someone who gave up everything for this country." Rick's throat got tight. "My nephew lost his leg in Afghanistan. He used to love riding before he got injured. Now he thinks he'll never ride again." Keanu put down his wrench. "What's his name?" "James. James Morrison." Keanu nodded slowly. "Tell me about him." Rick explained how James joined the army right after high school. How an explosion took his left leg. How he came home different, quieter, sadder. How his motorcycle just sat in the garage collecting dust because he couldn't ride anymore. "I want to meet James," Keanu said. 2 days later, James showed up at the shop. When he saw Keanu, his mouth dropped open. "Wait, you're Keanu Reeves." "I built something," Keanu said simply. "And I want you to have it." He led James to the garage and pulled off a cover. There stood the most beautiful motorcycle James had ever seen. But more than beautiful, it was special. Built specifically for riders with leg injuries. "This bike is yours," Keanu said. "I built it for you. You can ride again, James." James started crying. "Why? Why would you do this for me? You don't even know me." Keanu put his hand on James's shoulder. "Because you served. Because you sacrificed. Because you deserve to feel the wind in your face again." That day, James rode for the first time in 3 years. When he came back an hour later, he was crying again. But this time, they were happy tears. "I forgot what this felt like," James said. "I forgot what it felt like to be alive." Keanu made James promise one thing. "If you meet another veteran who's struggling, you tell them there's hope." That night, Rick asked Keanu why he did all this. "My father was in the military," Keanu explained. "He had his own struggles when he came back. I was too young to help him then. But now? Now I can help others like him." "So what happens now?" Rick asked. Keanu smiled. "Now I build another one." Over the next 6 months, Keanu built 5 more motorcycles. Each custom-made for different injuries. There was Maria, who lost both legs. Her bike had hand controls for everything. There was David with a spinal injury. His bike had a custom seat with extra support. There was Carlos, who lost his arm. His bike could be operated with one hand. Every time, Keanu delivered the bikes personally. Every time, he saw that same look of joy. And every time, he made them promise not to tell anyone who gave them the bike. "This isn't about me," he'd say. "This is about you." Word started spreading quietly among veterans. Not Keanu's name, that stayed hidden, but whispers about custom motorcycles appearing out of nowhere. Rick's garage got busier. Keanu brought helpers from his motorcycle company. They worked together, building multiple bikes at once. "How many are we up to now?" Rick asked one evening. 12, Keanu said. "But we're not stopping. There are thousands of veterans out there who deserve this." Then everything changed. A reporter named Sarah had been investigating the mysterious motorcycles. She was good at her job. She tracked down the veterans and connected the dots. All the bikes came from one garage. Sarah showed up at Rick's shop one Tuesday morning with a notebook and camera. "I'm working on a story about mysterious motorcycles for disabled veterans," she said. "I believe they're coming from this garage." Just then, Keanu walked in covered in grease. He froze when he saw Sarah. Her eyes went wide. "Oh my God, it's you." Keanu sighed. "How much do you know?" "Enough," Sarah said excitedly. "You're building motorcycles for disabled veterans. You've given away at least 12. This is incredible. Why haven't you told anyone?" "Because it's not about me," Keanu explained. "It's about them. The veterans. They don't need cameras and reporters. They just need to ride, to feel free again. But people should know. Sarah insisted. You could inspire others to help veterans too. Keanu looked sad. If you publish this story, you'll ruin it. Veterans will think it's a publicity stunt. The whole thing will become a circus. Sarah bit her lip. This was the biggest story of her career. But seeing how much Keanu cared, she felt torn. What if I don't use your name? She offered. I could write about the project without revealing who's behind it. Keanu shook his head. People will figure it out. Then what do you want me to do? I want you to wait, Keanu said. Give me time to help more people before this goes public. Please. Sarah looked at her notebook. Then she made a surprising decision. Okay, I'll wait. But let me help instead. Let me find veterans who need bikes. I can make this bigger without making it public. Keanu studied her face. Why would you do that? Sarah smiled. My brother was in the Marines. He came back different too. If someone had done this for him, it would have changed his life. So let me help change other lives. Keanu extended his hand. Welcome to the team. With Sarah's help, the project exploded. She reached out to veterans organizations and hospitals. She found veterans who needed bikes. The list grew fast. One night, they sat looking at over 50 names. 50 veterans waiting for bikes. We need more help, Rick said. Sarah brought in volunteers. A retired Marine mechanic. 2 veterans who learned motorcycle repair in the Army. A woman who lost her husband in Iraq. A physical therapist who specialized in working with amputees. The garage became a workshop of miracles. 5 or 6 motorcycles being built at once. People working day and night. And Keanu was there almost every day, just another pair of hands. This is incredible, Sarah said. Do you realize what you've started? Keanu smiled. We've started. Not just me. All of us. The next motorcycle went to Lisa, a former helicopter pilot paralyzed from the waist down. When she saw the bike with hand controls for everything, she whispered, This is impossible. Nothing's impossible, Keanu said. Want to try? Lisa rode around the parking lot for 20 minutes straight, her face glowing with joy. When she stopped, she was crying. I never thought I'd ride again. I thought that part of my life was over forever. It's not over, Keanu said gently. It's just beginning again. One of the volunteers, Tommy, who'd lost his arm, stepped forward. Someone gave me a bike 6 months ago. That bike saved my life. I was thinking about ending it all. Then suddenly I had a reason to wake up. So now I help build bikes for others. We pay it forward. Everything was perfect. The team had delivered 38 motorcycles. But then disaster almost struck. A famous talk show host heard rumors about Keanu's project. She wanted him on her show. Keanu called an emergency meeting. The word is getting out. Once this goes public, everything changes. Maybe we can control it, Sarah suggested. You go on the show, but you talk about the veterans, not yourself. Use the platform to ask for help. Tommy spoke up. We've helped 38 people. But there are thousands more who need help. If you go on that show, we could help hundreds more. Isn't that worth it? Everyone looked at Keanu. He thought about all the veterans he'd helped. About the 50 more waiting. About the thousands who didn't even know this help existed. Okay, he finally said. I'll do it. But we do it our way. 2 weeks later, Keanu sat on the talk show stage with Ellen. Can you tell us about your secret project? Ellen asked. Keanu took a deep breath. For the past 2 years, I've been building custom motorcycles for disabled veterans. Men and women who served our country and thought they'd never ride again. The audience applauded. Keanu held up his hand. But this isn't about me. I have an amazing team of volunteers, many of whom are veterans themselves. They're the real heroes. How many bikes have you given away? Ellen asked. 52 so far. But there's a waiting list of over 100 more. I want you to meet James Morrison, Ellen said. James walked out on stage. The audience cheered. Keanu built me a bike 3 years ago, James said. I lost my leg in Afghanistan and was depressed. That bike saved my life. It gave me hope again. Ellen had tears in her eyes. So what happens now? Now we need help, Keanu said. These bikes cost about $15,000 each. We're launching a foundation. People can donate money, parts, or time. This doesn't have to be just me. This can be all of us. Ellen smiled. Well, my show is donating $250,000. The audience went crazy. Keanu looked shocked. And I've been talking to friends, Ellen continued. Nike is donating another $100,000. Harley-Davidson is donating parts worth $300,000. And Tesla is donating $200,000. Keanu couldn't speak. Tears ran down his face. After the show aired, the video went viral. 50 million views in 24 hours. Over 200 million in a week. The foundation website crashed from too many visitors. Donations poured in from everywhere. $20 from a kid's allowance. $1,000 checks. $50,000 from tech companies. In the first month, the foundation raised over $3 million. Mechanics volunteered. Motorcycle companies offered free parts. Veterans organizations wanted to partner. The garage wasn't big enough. They moved to a warehouse. 20 volunteers became 50, then 100. It became a movement. But Keanu stayed the same. Still showed up every day. Still got his hands dirty. Still delivered bikes personally when he could. 6 months later, Keanu stood in the warehouse looking at over 100 bikes being built at once. "You did it, man," Tommy said. "You changed everything." "We did it," Keanu corrected. "All of us together." That night, alone in his car, Keanu got a text from an unknown number. "Mr. Reeves, you don't know me. My name is Robertson. I'm a Marine who lost both legs. I received one of your bikes today. I rode for the first time in 7 years. I can't stop crying. Thank you for giving me my life back." Keanu saved the message. These moments made everything worth it. The secret was out. But the mission? That was just beginning. The foundation had grown beyond anyone's dreams. The warehouse now had 3 buildings. Over 300 volunteers. The waiting list had shrunk from hundreds to just 47. But success brought new challenges. One morning, Sarah met Keanu looking worried. "We have a problem." She showed him an article. Veteran slams Keanu Reeves Foundation, claims process is unfair. A veteran named Michael Torres was angry. He'd been waiting 6 months while others got bikes first. He thought the foundation was playing favorites. "Is this true?" Keanu asked quietly. "No," Sarah said. "We prioritize by need." Michael applied 6 months ago, but people before him had more urgent situations. One was suicidal. Another was homeless. Did anyone explain this to Michael? "We tried, but he's angry. He feels forgotten." Keanu stood up. "I want to meet Michael. Face to face." 3 days later, Keanu knocked on Michael's apartment door. Michael opened it and looked shocked. "You're actually here?" They sat at the kitchen table. Awkward silence. "I read your article," Keanu started. "Tell me why you're angry." Michael's jaw tightened. "I served 3 tours in Iraq. 3. I watched friends die. I lost my leg saving my unit. I came home to nothing. Then I hear about your foundation. Finally, something hopeful. So I apply. And wait. And wait. I see stories online about others getting bikes. But where's mine? Do you know what it's like to feel forgotten?" His voice cracked. "To feel like even the people who are supposed to help don't care?" Keanu listened carefully. When Michael finished, Keanu spoke softly. "You're right." Michael looked surprised. "What?" "You're right to be angry. Not about favoritism, we don't do that. But we should have communicated better. We should have called you personally. Made sure you felt valued. That's on me." Keanu pulled out his phone and showed Michael the database of waiting veterans. "See this person? Rachel Martinez. Applied 2 weeks before you. Single mom, 3 kids, both legs lost. She was sleeping in her car. We built her a bike, but also helped her find housing." He scrolled. "David Kim. Applied a month before you. He sent us a suicide note. We had to act fast. That bike saved his life." Michael's anger melted into understanding. "And this is yours," Keanu continued. "We've been sourcing special parts for your unique injury. Consulting with 3 prosthetists to get it right. We didn't want to rush and have it be wrong. We wanted it perfect." Michael's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know. That's my fault. We got so focused on building that we forgot to communicate. Your bike will be ready in 2 weeks. But more than that, I promise we'll do better. Monthly updates for everyone waiting. Personal calls. Photos of their bikes being built." Michael wiped his eyes. "I feel like an idiot. I made you look bad." "You're not an idiot," Keanu said firmly. "You're a veteran who's been through hell. Those are valid feelings. Now use them. Help us improve. Join our advisory board. Help us make sure nobody feels forgotten again." Michael stared. "You want me to help? After I attacked you? I'm asking you to help because you attacked us. Because you were brave enough to speak up. That's exactly who we need." 2 weeks later, Michael got his bike. Perfect. Beautiful. Exactly right. But more importantly, Michael became a vital part of the foundation, helping improve everything with his honest perspective. The changes Michael helped create transformed the foundation. Wait times shortened. Communication improved. Veterans felt valued even before receiving bikes. But something else happened. Other people started copying the model. A businessman in Texas built custom wheelchairs for veterans. A woman in New York started a service dog foundation. A group in Chicago offered free home modifications. Everyone said, Keanu Reeves inspired us. If he can do it, so can we. The movement grew bigger than motorcycles. It spread across the country, then the world. Keanu received an invitation to the White House. The president wanted to honor him. I don't want to go, Keanu told Sarah. This isn't about awards. Think about the platform, Sarah said. You could talk about thousands of veterans still struggling. Create even more change. Keanu went, but he brought 20 veterans with him, all people who'd received bikes. When it was time for photos, he stepped aside and pushed the veterans forward. They're the real heroes, he told the president. The photo that went viral wasn't of Keanu receiving an award. It was him standing in the back, smiling, while 20 veterans stood proud in front. A film student named Emma approached Keanu about making a documentary. At first, he wanted to say no. Then he thought about Michael, about communication, about transparency. On one condition, he said. The documentary isn't about me. It's about the veterans, their stories, their struggles and triumphs. That's exactly what I want to make, Emma promised. 6 months later, Riding Free. The story of the Keanu Reeves Foundation premiered at Sundance. Emma kept her promise. The documentary barely showed Keanu. Instead, it told the stories of 12 veterans. James, the first recipient. Lisa, the paralyzed pilot. Michael, who talked about feeling forgotten and finding purpose. It showed their pain, their struggles, their joy, their healing. When Keanu appeared, it was brief. Just him working on bikes. No interviews. No speeches. Just quiet dedication. The documentary ended with a powerful message. Over 500 veterans had received bikes. But thousands more needed help. The final text read, If you want to help, visit KeanuReevesFoundation.org. Donate money, time, parts, or start something similar in your community. Veterans need us. All of us. The audience stood and applauded for 5 minutes. The documentary won awards. But more importantly, it inspired action. Donations tripled. Hundreds of new volunteers signed up. People started their own veteran programs across the country. 5 years after building that first motorcycle for James, Keanu stood in the warehouse surrounded by hundreds of people. Anniversary celebration. Over 1,000 veterans had received bikes. The waiting list was down to 0 for the first time ever. James gave a speech, his original bike parked beside him, still running perfectly. 5 years ago, I was in a dark place. Then a stranger built me a bike. Gave me hope. That stranger became a friend. And that friend inspired thousands to help veterans like me. He pointed to Keanu. You changed my life. But more than that, you changed the world. You showed people that one person can make a difference. The crowd erupted. Keanu shifted uncomfortably, never at ease with praise. After everyone left, Keanu stood alone in the warehouse. So different from that small garage where it all began. His phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Reeves? My name is Jacob. I'm a Marine. I just got my bike today. I've been crying for 3 hours. I never thought I'd ride again. Thank you for not forgetting about people like me. Keanu smiled. You're welcome, Jacob. Ride safe. He stood there looking around the warehouse. This started as one man's simple idea. Build a bike. Help a veteran. Keep it secret. Now it was a movement. Thousands of volunteers. Millions raised. Lives changed every day. But at its heart, it was still the same simple idea. Care about people. Help where you can. Don't do it for recognition. Do it because it's right. Keanu walked to his car. Tomorrow he'd be back. Building more bikes. Taking more calls from grateful veterans. Planning the next phase. Because this wasn't about one bike anymore. Or one veteran. Or one famous actor. This was about showing the world what's possible when we choose to care. When we choose to help. When we choose to remember that people who serve deserve every good thing we can give them. Keanu drove home thinking about all the veterans riding free across America. On bikes built with love. With care. With gratitude. And somewhere out there, Another veteran was receiving their custom motorcycle. Another person crying tears of joy. Another life being changed forever. The secret garage had become a global movement. But the mission remained the same: give freedom back to those who fought for ours. And that was worth more than any movie, any award, any amount of fame. That was real. That was everything.